Will drone technologies actually become an answer to our organ transplantation transportation problem?
Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification to become part of the Transplant Helper community.
If you've been watching this program very long, you know I'm tremendously impassioned about advocating for organ donation, the need of organ donors, and any technology is going to make organ donation easier, better, and safer for every party involved. And so that's the reason why I wanted to sit down today for just a moment or two and talk with you about one of the latest advancements that's come about here in the United States, actually has been now used to save a life, and that is the drone technology that is available to transport organs from center to center. Now, Dr. Joseph Scalea, basically at the Maryland University Medical Center, has been really pioneering this type of research, this type of development now for several years. And just the other day, they had a successful organ transplanted in city from one transplant center to another, through which a woman who had been awaiting a kidney transplant for about 8 years received the gift of life, and she's doing very, very well. Now, you've probably seen the story all over the news. It's been on CNN, all the major networks, and I'm so excited and thankful for that. Again, the gaining of attention is probably going to be the biggest outcome of what has occurred so far. But what about the drone technology itself? Is this the answer to what we need in organ transplantation? Well, for several reasons, I think it could be potentially, okay? In potential and in the distant future, it could be actually a game changer as far as organ transplants. Right now, as they're beginning to unloose some of the barriers, allow organs to be transplanted farther across the country, technologies are increasing to make it so those organs themselves can be preserved for transportation farther and farther across the country. We're going to need to be seeking out different methods of transportation, maybe that we hadn't had to deal with in the past. You back up into the early 60s when organ transplantation was just being developed. The only possible way you were going to receive an organ is if there was a donor who was pretty much available right there in the same hospital, in the same transplant center. Now, since that time, it has definitely expanded beyond that. It's allowed for not only transplantation outside of a hospital via motor vehicle, up into helicopters, airplanes even. My heart, for example, was flown in from Oklahoma on a private jet owned by the hospital. These are all great things. However, as things get farther and farther out, and they're spread farther and farther out, of course, we're increasing the distance between two places. We need to be decreasing the time that it takes to transport an organ from one place to another. And of course, obviously, the fastest means of transportation we have right now available is that jet. And specifically, I can't say that word, the private jet is the better transplantation method. However, there have been accidents. There's actually a couple of years ago, an entire transplant team, including physicians, surgeons, and all were lost. One of these private jets ended up crashing, and of course, we lost the lives of those people as well as that organ right there. So they're looking for different technology. Joseph Scalea has been really working hard on this, and the drone technology was used the other day, as I said, at the University of Maryland, where an organ was transplanted inside the city from one place to another. Now, the positives obviously are it's a new method. The positives are obviously it's definitely gaining media attention, but we're not quite there yet. So what's happened then and happened the other day is that an organ was transplanted from one place to another, but it actually only moved 2.6 miles in about 10 minutes. So obviously that's not fast enough. If you need an organ to be transplanted, say 1,000 miles, that's not even close to where we need to be. Okay, so let's just hope and pray and support efforts like this. I'm completely behind it. Support it so that maybe the technologies can be improved. There's no doubt there are drones and capabilities that are much faster than that. So if we can gain access to that in the medical world, like we probably have in the military world, it'll be a big step. So I hope that you've seen the story. If you hadn't, I'll have it linked here beneath this video. I have a link up here at the end and the cards on the side that pop up, where you can go check that out, hopefully. And, support this in any way that you can, and certainly be praying for the effort. I think drone technology is a great thing. I think it's something that will help us eventually. And let's just hope that the speed, the time frames involved can come around so that this can be a part of our futures. Thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, stay stronger, friends.